Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and this is a build show. It happens live on Twitch and then also is recorded later and uploaded onto YouTube. First and foremost, Harold and Road, hello and welcome. You said stuff in the chat. Speaking of chat, I'm throwing the Bear Cave emote and the Lego emote in the chat. So for y'all, hello, Harold. Thank you for hosting as always. Thanks for everybody who's watching here in the chat. Lashbrook, hello. We'll wait for a few more folks, see if anybody else joins before we start building. I've got a new background. I wanted to have something new. I shot a Q&A for my Patreon and wanted to change the background for that. And then I decided that, I was doing the seasonal thing, right? In the summer, we had the winter snowy thing. In the winter time, the fall, we changed it over to that kind of desert island looking thing. But I wanted to mix it up. So now we are just whatevs. We're just chilling. It's just a very nice, kind of cool, weird colored thing. Sea of color. I don't know. I like it. Um, I also needed a background that looks good no matter how big it is. For my Monday stream, for those that don't know, on Monday I will be streaming at twitch.tv/PatBear. In the afternoon, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to do instead of the monthly game stream, I'm going to do my monthly bonus carving stream. My first ever pumpkin carving stream will be on Monday. So I changed how that's going to look. The overhead will be a little different for that because I will be standing. Because I don't want to carve a pumpkin sitting where I am now. I'm too close to the table for that to work right. I have to be standing up. I don't have to, but I want to be standing up. So I'm going to have to modify where my camera is for that. But yeah, thank you all for joining me here today. We'll wait a couple more minutes before getting here. We are doing a Lego set. We did figures previously, not too long ago. We were doing two different Gundams. So it's time to switch over and do a Lego set for a bit. And I'm excited to get back into building Lego. It's been a little while. A reminder, if your Twitch coin, if you're using Twitch Prime, you have to auto-renew with your coin. If you're paid, it auto-renews there. But if you haven't subscribed, you should do that because at the 10 p.m.-ish, halfway through the broadcast, I will be doing my giveaway. As folks know, the last regular stream of the month, I do a giveaway to a subscriber, and they get something that I've built previously in the stream. So I'm going to do two small Lego sets because they're pretty small. Yoda's Starfighter. I'm going to remember the actual name. Yoda Starfighter. Yep, that's right. And the Darth Vader transformation. Now, the Darth Vader transformation is interesting. It's unique in us because it's the first time we did a Lego set that wasn't a vehicle of some sort. It is a playset. And it is Anakin Skywalker's transformation into Darth Vader. And it has a gimmick where you can turn the figures over. It's kind of cool. It's a cool set. But yeah, that's the first time we were built something that wasn't a robot or some sort of Lego vehicle. And then the Yoda's Starfighter is just cool. It's got a Yoda figure in it. It's just a cool little kit. But it was a 1-day build, so. All right, well, and then of course in chat you can chat at it about anything, bring up topics you want to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about anime. I watched the first episode of a series that I hadn't watched yet. Watched episode 4 of a series that I've been following. And of course I'll talk about that later, and we can talk about whatever it's on your mind. If there's something you want to chat about, feel free to pop it in there on chat. If you are a subscriber and you don't want to win a Model 2 Lego sets, just let me know and I'll pick somebody else. But I'm hoping you want it because it's awesome that y'all support me. Consistently thrilled to see those numbers, stabilize. We haven't had big gains in the last couple of months. We've been pretty stable, but I'm happy to be stable, right? You know, people move on to other things, and we get new folks in, and it's cool. And then, of course, there are the people that have been with me since day one. Got my day one friends, and y'all have been awesome in your support. Hello, the Hollow, and welcome. Happy to have you here. Um, but yeah, make sure that if you're not currently a subscriber, you get it on that subscription thing. And if you're not a subscriber, that's okay. I get it. I understand. Uh, it makes sense. It's fine. But let's get into building. I did a little bit of building here. Now, what I ended up doing is sorry. Blah, let me start again. Go to the overhead. On Thursday, we had some time left in the stream, so we started knolling, and we did 2 bags. I ended up doing a 3rd bag of knolling. So here is 3 bags worth of kits. The first bag is what I started doing here, which is we're going to work on this, like, crab thing. It's like the evil villain guy has kind of like this robotic crab vehicle that shoots some stuff. So I'm working on that. And as always, I'm going to try not to miss any steps. I'm going to try to keep my eyes peeled of what I need to put on here. But these are always a little easier. One, very easy to fix my mistakes and to undo what I've done as opposed to Gunpla. And 2, it takes a little less focus because I'm not clipping things out. So I'm always a little easier for me to keep up with chat and keep up with y'all. So we do that. I always want to say, if you're watching and you're not currently a subscriber, consider. But also, at the very least, make sure you turn your notifications on so you know when I'm streaming. Definitely always have a nice, good crew on my bonus stream, the Monday afternoon stream. I understand it's not always a great time for people, but, I like to mention it. Because there are especially folks that the evening streams aren't great for them. So, I like to have options. Help them out. Oh, got these here. All right, let's go the yellow. Just go like that. Like this. This is the chair element of this kit. It is a command seats appears to be. And 2 of these. Great. I'm both playing Assassin's Creed and building Legos right now. My attention is all over the place. Road, just be careful. Splitting your focus that much, it can lead to the wrong Legos or the wrong person murdered, Gotta be careful. Alright, so let's... Oh, I showed this off on Thursday. This is like a silk-screened Lego piece. So instead of it being a sticker, it comes with it. There's one of these here, and then we have a red one as well. And I think that fucking is awesome. That it's not just a sticker I have to apply, that it already comes on there. I think is very cool. And then we'll put on these. Just makes my life a lot easier to pre-null, so I'm not digging through a bag. You don't hear me wrestling around in a plastic bag. I know where everything is. It's easy to reach. And even if I can't find it immediately, because I have a lot of black pieces, you can see, I still know it's in somewhere in here. And then I also, to save space, will do things like this. Oops. I'll show in both shots here. But I have just put these pieces together, and then I'll just ply them apart. That's not too hard. But yeah. I didn't do much today. Today was, I did some cleaning. I did some organizing. I'm getting my bag ready for PAX Unplugged, which is obviously, PAX Unplugged is a ways away. It is a month and a couple days. Although, no, I leave Thursday, so it is exactly like a month away. Yeah, I leave on the 27th, which is Thursday. Oh, no, I leave on the 29th. Okay, so it's a month and a couple days away. But I was still like prepping and getting my, not luggage, but my bags together, things I need, equipment. making notes of the things that I need to get. We just attach these. So these are the teeth, and then we're going to attach these two um, kind of different colored pieces. I don't know the name of this color of blue, but it's to look like a mouth here because we're kind of making the mouth of this robotic crab. So we put those on. We have like 4 pieces of this color here. We'll also put them on this. And then put the eyes on, which are 2 blacks and 2 blue. Oh, the Hollow says, I had Red Dead 2 pre-ordered and got an email on the day release from Amazon saying it was delayed till December. Wow. He ended up canceling it anyway because I wasn't digging the videos I saw. Well, that's a shame. That's annoying. One, that's too long of a delay because I'm sure you could just go into a store and get them. That feels like there was some sort of shipping error to be like, it's not coming till, you can't get till December. Yeah, I mean, I didn't, so here's the deal. I didn't really like Red Dead Redemption. It was okay. I just moved on from it pretty fast. It didn't really keep my attention. So, like, I don't know. I'm happy for, look, oh, okay. So I got to say this. Obviously, if it's your jam, I'm psyched for you. I'm very happy. I want people to have good entertainment and good times and good, enjoy themselves. So, like, if Red Dead is your game of the year already, uh, then that rules. And congratulations. The Hollow, yeah, I mean, I think in the game, particularly in the games, now the pre-order bonuses and stuff like that, that's just a thing that they don't have to care about. They've chosen not to care about anymore. They kind of won. Um, they beat Best Buy, so now they kind of don't care. It seems like. Like my shipping stuff is, I haven't had any issues with shipping. I'm still getting all the, anything from food items to book. I had a book issue, but I know it wasn't Amazon, so I wasn't too worried about that. The Sawbones book was delayed a few days, and me getting it, but I know that wasn't Amazon being weird. That was the publisher of the Sawbones book got bought by another publisher, and so that seemed to be a fulfillment issue because there were stores that didn't get copies that were promised copies. So, in Canada, we went from 20% to 10%. Oh, yeah. Uh, to nothing, and now fewer games release date guarantee for game discounts. Yeah, I think they were fighting GameStop, uh, and they were fighting Best Buy and other big box retailers that were making deals with video games. But overall, their digital distribution has made it so, like, honestly, Amazon wasn't fighting digital distribution, even though they are a lot of ways do a lot of digital. They weren't fighting that. So I think they, are kind of like, no thanks anymore. So yeah, it's not surprising that losing venture for them seems to have gone. Because I remember the discounts for pre-ordering on Amazon were so big, and then also at the same time, you would get store credit for doing it too. So not only like in the US anyway, so not only are certain games were you getting like a huge discount, you were also getting like credit for future games, and so it was a whole thing. But yeah, now it's not. It doesn't seem to be a thing they want to lose money on anymore because they clearly were losing money. And there were companies that didn't want the discounts, and then you got to go through that whole thing and all that, and like appeasing companies and all that. The one company Amazon didn't want to annoy was Nintendo, and Nintendo was being annoyed. So we put the legs on our spider crab thing. Got some legs going on there, so it could walk around. And then we're gonna build kind of pincher. Well, there's only one pincher on this, so we get to use the yellow, which is a really nice looking yellow. You can see the overhead. It's a really nice color. Excited to do a little building with this. The colors in here are really enjoyable. Uh, the clear, which we saw in one of the other our last Lego build, this clear blue is great. This darker clear blue is great. Just the regular old blue, very good. A lot of good colors in this. I was talking today with Alexandra about that, about how some of the color schemes, when building Star Wars kits, which of course, giving away later, but it's sometimes kind of a bummer. These Star Wars kits can be a bummer because they're like gray, other gray, black, a little bit of red and blue here and there. All right, so I also feel like Red Dead represents a pivotal point in gaming that's not for me, whereas session with realism is more than I want. I like survival modes. Yeah. The whole food management thing was never like that was my least favorite part of San Andreas. Was like making sure you eat. Like it's never like I don't play survival mode on the Fallout games. Like nah, no thanks. Don't don't give me an illness. Don't let me wake up from an illness. Uh, Stuff like watching your weight improve stamina is too much. Yeah, I mean that's like that those kind of games aren't my jam really either. I do like open world games, so it is kind of a bummer because it's a big open world game, and open world games haven't really. I mean, luckily, I'm still playing Yakuza Zero on the PC. That's kind of my like play a little bit, savor it game. Um, I and of course I played through it last year, and this year I'm just playing through it again. But that's my good open world-ish kind of like fun game that does what I wanted to do. Because I didn't really enjoy Far Cry, um, and so that makes it tough if you like open world games. And I haven't played the last Assassin's Creed, the latest Assassin's Creed, because I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed person. Um, but I might end up picking it up. All right, we're going to do our first decal. As always, the nice thing about Lego decals is you get a second chance. So there's the number 13. I don't know what significance the number 13 has on this top of the claw because I don't know anything about Ninjago other than that we're building it. I liked but did not love Horizon Zero Dawn. It was beautiful looking, but I didn't really enjoy the story, and the mechanics were good, just like yeah, I never finished it. Uh, um, all right, so we put this on here, and it's kind of like a grippy claw. In the photo of this, it shows like a minifig stuck in here, so that's kind of cool. Get the number 13 on there. This is a cool little vehicle. That's all what bag 1 is really just building this vehicle. And then we can put a minifig in there if we wanted to. All right, we need 2 black pieces here. We need this one. Then we need... I'm going to have to dig around now because I can't seem to see this. What we need the... This is sometimes, like I said, even though it's there, it's actually dark gray. So that's the thing that I run into with my eyesight. My eyesight is okay, but I don't think it's going to play on stream. But, okay, so here's this, right? These look very different, right? If you go like this, you can tell a lot of difference. If you look at this photo, there doesn't seem to be a lot of difference. And that's really annoying to me. But it's good to have this all out because I look over and go, oh, I don't have one of those. Oh, it's actually dark gray. Like, it's my least favorite thing about Lego building is that sometimes the colors just look too similar in the illustrations, which is very frustrating. I got like 2 hours into that game and couldn't play anymore. Although it's cool, but I hated the controls. Yeah, I didn't love it. I liked it, but I just didn't love it. Um, yeah, I think like I really enjoyed Fallout 4, even though it had a lot of problems. I still enjoyed it. It's no New Vegas, but it's still okay. Oh, I'm gonna move over a little bit here. It's still okay. Uh, and I, of course, loved Yakuza Zero. That was rad. And then also like, I mean, I want the PC, right? I want to play it on PC, and I don't know, so I'm not gonna get a console version of that game, probably. I don't know. I didn't pre-order it. I don't think I'll play it. Um, there's some games I still want to play. I still want to play The Missing. I still haven't played The Missing. That's a game that I legitimately want to play. Oops, I missed a piece on here. See, I noticed I missed a piece because I went and shoved this in and there was still a little bit showing. So that was supposed to go here. Yep, that happens now and again. Just miss a piece. And now when I put this in, it'll be flush. And that's what I want. And then I got the steering wheel here. This is, I think, a thing for a flag, I believe. Yes. All right, so we got to put some stickers on our flag here. Got a yellow flag. We're going to make sure that we put the stickers on right. These are, they say something. I can't read it right. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be. Maybe if I'd seen the movie, I would know. My Amazon wish list, I updated it with a few more Ninjago things. There's one dragon we haven't built yet. There's a red dragon that has looks to be plastic wings. That looks really cool. So I put that on my wish list because that would be fun. And there's like a Mech Knight thing, which people were telling me is a cool series that I should look into. So, which I haven't. So I found a set for that. I don't know. It's been a little bit since I had anything in my since I did uh, a video about anything coming in from my wish list. So if you've got some Amazon credit, we're not talking about Amazon. If you got any credit, if there's something you'd like to purchase on that list, if there's something you think you'd buy that's not on the list, let me know. I try to keep it updated, but haven't had a mailbag video in a while because I haven't had anything in the mail. Alright, so this goes on the back of our thing. And I don't know what the fuck. It's a little... It's kind of like a tail and also a flag. And I don't know why. It looks kind of neat. This thing is weird. I'm going to have to space out these legs some so that it stands up right. I guess it goes like that. Alright. I'm not sure how I feel about the core mechanic of The Missing. Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to play it because of, the creator and supporting weird things. But I've heard good things and I've heard confused things. It's like once you are aware and get over the self-harm element of it, that there is some self-harm, that it's interesting. So, I don't know. I'd like to check it out. Oops. Don't need that yet. Put on one too many things. We'll go here. Alright, so that goes on there. We're building some sort of... Oh, this is the gun. This is the thing that shoots pellets, basically. Goes on there. We need this. There are 7 bags in this kit. It is an 800-piece kit. So we will be doing this for a bit. And then after we're done with this kit, I'll put a poll up for my Patreon supporters. But hopefully, and I'm going to say this, y'all. I very much hope that the next thing that gets voted on is, because my $10 folks, sometimes vote on the thing I would prefer they didn't. But I really want to build that 160 scale Wing Zero because it's such a big dumb kit that I really want to build it. Uh, it's a 160 scale, but it's like a high grade. So the pieces are huge, and there's not a lot of internal detail. So I think it's going to be a good, fun, big old kit to build. And there's a little bit of a. I'm going to try because I fucked up the perfect grade and never got the LED stuff working. So I'm definitely going to try for this one to get whatever lighting is with it. I'm going to do some research and try to get that right. Because I don't want to fuck that. I want to make sure that that's cool. All right, so this goes here. I'm trying to find a good place to snap this in. Okay. So we got our crab. Pop this open here. Got our crab thing, and then you put. Whoops. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Controller thing keeps falling off. Yeah, all right. And then we put these on here, and the idea is you put them on this, and then as you rotate, there is, you can see it in the overhead shot, I think. There's a little bit of a thing that sticks out on this, and then as it hits it with enough pressure, it will pop it off and shoot them out. It's a very simple, easy mechanic. There's just a little dial in the back that pops them up and out. It's very, actually, I'm going to say this, pretty ingenious. Very simple machine, but very effective and a cool way. And they even give you a bunch of extra ones, which is helpful because they assume that you will shoot them all off, which I'm sure I would lose. I'm sure I will accidentally shoot one of them just moving it around. So let's load it up. Fun little mechanic thing, and then it can shoot around. And then we don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Yep. And then we can put these in the bag with our minifigs because we won't need those. And then we could put this guy. He can sit in here and do his thing. There he is. Yep, so there's a guy doing his thing. And that's our that's basically bag 1. So now we built the minifigs for these friends. And then we can move on. I'll just put that there because it's fun to have right there. Okay, so yeah, now we're moving on to bag 2, and we got some assembly here. Got some black pieces here to put together. All right, so let's get into it. Talked about it before, mentioned it earlier. Going to talk about some anime. All right, so I knew she was coming, but we met the character Ellie, who is also a vampire, in the series Ms. Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood. Ellie is a blonde, also young vampire. She was shown in a flashback in the previous episode as a vampire that also knew Sophie, the main vampire in the show. But also, if you watch the opening, she's in it. She's like one of 4 characters in the opening video. Even though our main character, who's not a vampire, has like other friends, you only see her best friend, who's definitely in love with her, and Sophie and Ellie. And as opposed to the other episodes, which seem to be, either the episodes, the 4 episodes, the first episode was one long plot, and the second and third episode were like 2 plot stories, A plot, B plot, like half episodes. And then this one was another full one, which was basically just like, let's deal with this new vampire showing up. It's a fun show. I like it. It's cute. Um, I'm going to keep watching. I will say it does talk about vampirism more in this episode, but really doesn't. It uses its plot and lore way better than the other show that we talked about, the love story show, which could be anything, just happens to involve demons, uh, as Miss Beelzebub likes, which is still a fun show, but is very different in its use of what it's got. So this is like, maybe a love story, definitely a fun slice of life show that very much is about a vampire and her human friends. So I appreciate that. I think I think it uses its storyline stuff well. Whereas, as I said, as Miss Beelzebub likes, could be any sort of guy works for a girl, they're into each other, they don't know how to deal with that kind of story. It just so happens that that one, is actually the funny thing is both shows, their episode this week involves a person who is very much interested in the main character and has been for a long time, and the main character is not into it. Ellie, you know, seems to love Sophie more than just in a friendship way, and Sophie is sometimes has issues with even liking uh, Ellie as a person, or a vampire, I should say. And there's a little bit that's kind of interesting about like Sophie not thinking that humans and vampires can be friends. And that's kind of interesting. I don't know. I've never seen this color, this kind of like gold, kind of like uh, muted golds in this size. These buttons things here. So that's new. I whistled a little bit there for some reason. I don't know why. And then the new show I watched is what's the actually how do I say the first name of it? I'm gonna look it up. Anima Yell, with an exclamation point. This is the cheerleading show. We got our main character. She's lovely. She's kind of dumb. She's nice and bubbly. She, right before high school, sees cheering for the first time. She's apparently never been to a sports thing and never seen cheerleaders, like a cheer team, and meets this cheer team and is just like, hell yeah, this is what I want to do in high school. I'm going to join my cheer club. Her school does not have a cheer club. So it's the idea is kind of like recruiting people and making it work and becoming a cheer squad. And it's saccharine, and also another one of those like, here's a bunch of girls that are some of whom are definitely in love with other girls, and we're not going to talk about it, but it's fucking happening. Are we going to talk about this? No. We're all just going to be cool with it? Great. Um, Sometimes I would like things like that to be more explicit. In there, like, just fucking, let's talk about it. Let's be real about it. Same thing with Slow Start, which I watched this year. Like, characters were in love with each other, and it was never talked about, and that's cool, but also it would be cool if they talked about it. I don't know, it's that dichotomy. It's a weird dichotomy, whereas, like, in Comic Girls, one of the girls felt weird about liking a girl because she assumed she liked boys. Um, so, in the very least, when she fell in love with one of her housemates, or at least interest in one of her housemates, she was talked about that and how that was confusing for her. Which, I don't know. But at the same time, I do think it's kind of fucking rad that there's just a show where it's just like, this show is not explicit in its gayness, but is obvious in its gayness. There's something very cool about that. All right, we got some red going on here. So we'll make sure that we're putting this on right. Down there. Yep. And then one of these goes on. That. I don't know. I'm caught up on Black Clover. Uh, as I said, that is a show that I neglected previously, but now I'm kind of into. It is problematic in that there is one character who is obsessed with his younger sister, like incredibly creepily obsessed. Hello, Asmo. Welcome. Thanks for throwing that bear cave emote in there. Um, yeah, I think I've talked this before. Yes, like the main character yells, and you have to get used to the yelling, which I know some people just fucking can't. They just can't with it. That Asta is always yelling because he's just so excited about things and so happy and proud and all that. That it's tough sometimes. But yeah, watch some Castlevania, and that's still pretty good. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't have Netflix at the moment. I'll probably get Netflix again and just kind of binge on the stuff that I haven't watched. Um, let's see. Um, oh, love the anime intro cowboy themes Twitter thread from earlier. I mean, to go back to Cowboy Bebop. Yes. Um, go back to Cowboy Bebop. So, outside of one not great thing, uh, Faye just in the 90s, I mean, one, I was probably like into it more than I am now as an older man, and two, as an older person, I should say, and two, didn't have the, wasn't thinking about stuff like that. Faye's outfit is not much. She's just not wearing much, and that's like now it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I really did forget how little clothing Faye Valentine wears. It's kind of a problem. Uh, but I think other than that, it's just like a fucking rad as hell show that I really love and I miss. Yeah, I did a little thread on my Twitter where I was just like on purpose misunderstanding what cowboy thing people were into. I was like, "Oh, we're into this cowboy show, Cowboy Bebop." And I'm like, "Oh, no, we're not into that show." "Oh, okay, I get it. We're into this cowboy show." And it's Trigun. And then I was like, some sort of then I did it like, the horse show. I get you. And then it was BoJack Horseman. And then the last one was I understand we're looking for some sort of outlaw. And then it was just Outlaw Star, which is problematic of a show. But also, Outlaw Star, like that song is still fucking rules. The theme to Outlaw Star is still a banger. Let me tell you. And that's a show I watched dubbed, and then years later watched subbed and liked it a lot more. I think that show was way better subtitled. And there's also there's a fan service episode they skipped, or heavily edited, I should say, because America, and also fan service episodes aren't great, and sometimes you do want to skip those. But yeah, I might go back and watch Outlaw Star again. That show was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Alright, so it is circling. Oh, did I put this on wrong? I might have. No. No, I did not. Okay, great. Alright, so this goes on top of this. Okay, we're building the base here. We're getting into our jet. Getting some components put in on our jet here. And then these go that. Outlaw Star is basically Firefly with a bit more creepy. Yes, Sin, you're not totally wrong. There is some creep in it. The idea of artificial intelligence, I'm not going to say anything more than that if people are going to watch it. The strong cat girl, who's also not wearing much. the assassin who decides to just hang. The trope of the assassin who decides to hang out is weird. It's strange, but also I have friends who are like, I was really into Gene, and then I was like, why am I so into Gene? Oh, I'm bi, or oh, I'm gay. So Outlaw Star helped a few friends of mine figure some stuff out in the late '90s. So, uh, oh, Chobits, yeah. Uh, oh, and Asmo says that also reminds me a watched watched for a bit of Trigon with a college housemate many years ago, and I remember almost nothing about it. So Trigon is like you're like I don't know anything. I don't understand anything about this world. I've learned a very little bit about this world, and then towards the end of the show, it's just like, hey, here's a but. Like the info dumps towards the end are kind of unbelievable and great. Hello, Zorbs, and welcome. Hey, everybody. We got a little jump in our viewership right now, which is awesome, and welcome. And hello. We are working on the Lightning Jet, which is part of the Ninjago line here. Back into the Ninjago line because they are reasonably priced compared to Star Wars stuff. And I'm not that I'm running out of Star Wars kits to make, but I'm enjoying the break from Star Wars kits. We still have Ray's Speed Bike, which is not a big kit, and we can get done at some point. Or Speedster, Speed Bike, yeah. But yes, Sin, you're totally right. The Outlaw Star had some creepy elements to it, including that fan service episode that I alluded to that was kind of skipped over in the U.S. version. Or heavily edited if it wasn't skipped over. I can't really remember. But there is some cool stuff about that show. Look, here's the deal. If you got a spaceship and it's got robotic arms that come out of it and pinch your arms, I'm into that. And that show had that. In fact, I bet it's not on Amazon, but I'm gonna quickly look to see if if that vehicle is on Amazon. I bet it's not. Let's see. I bet I'm only going to find, the Blu-rays, the DVDs. Of course, if I can remember the name of the ship, that we find some T-shirts here. Things that have nothing to do with it. Posters. The unrated DVD. I bet I don't find that. I wonder if Gundam Planet has it. I bet it doesn't. Once again, this is stuff I could do not right now, but whatever. Outlaw Star. No results. Why would it have that? Why would they keep that in stock? But yeah, that ship is cool and dumb. Look, I think robot arms on a ship is very stupid, and no matter how much they say it's practical for salvage, it's very impractical and very dumb. And I'm into that. Always have been, might always will be. I like a lot. I like a little bit of dumb in my anime. Not opposed to it. All right, so we're gonna put some more blue on here. Lots of good blue and black juxtaposition here. Contrast, I should say, not juxtaposition. Contrast. Some good contrast on this. Oh, we're gonna get one of our clear pieces in. That's cool. Let's see, 6. Great. But yeah, I don't know if I would watch all of Outlaw Star again, but also speaking of problematic, we can talk about it. I think it's okay to say. So in my non-spooky anime kind of watching, where I'm watching anime stuff to get ready for Halloween that is not spooky, because that's not my thing. I don't like spooky. I'm not watching horror. Um, uh, oh, I'm not familiar with the ship in question, but are we questioning robot arms suspicions? No, so Asmo, we've had like crane arms, right? Like the body of the space shuttle opens up and an arm comes out. These are arms at the front, at the nose of the ship that are sometimes used for battle. I'm going to get a photo. I'm going to do something I've never done before. And not only am I going to, instead of linking the chat, I'm going to post a photo, save a photo, and then I'm going to import a photo. Let's see if I can find one with the arms. Oh, here's what the kit looks like. Can I do that? No, I can't do that. Okay. Save image. So I'm going to save an image, and I'm going to put it on here because it is the dumbest thing. So there is a figure out there. I don't know if it was a building kit or what, but I'm going to do this here. Okay. Okay. Desktop. Nope. Downloads. There it is. Okay. Look at that thing. This is a bad version. This is a bad photo. This is a low-res photo. But look at those arms. Look at that. That's stupid. As I said, this is a low-res photo of this kit. Very bad quality photo that I saved. I wonder if this one's better. Let me save that. Delete that. And then we're going to add it again. I got a different one. Take a different look at this. This is silly and stupid. Here it is. Better photo. Better photo of this kit. Look at that. Look how dumb that is. It's real dumb. And I love it. Go back to Twitch so you can all see what's going on here. So yeah, Asmo, this is what I'm talking about. Look at those arms. That's some goofy, silly shit right there. I'm really into it. Put that down there, just cuz. Get rid of it. I don't need that. Get out of here. You get out of here, image. I'm done with you. Yeah, and they moved around. You control them with like joysticks, and it's really stupid. It was a dumb thing in a silly goof show. But I'm into it. So here's the clear piece, which looks pretty cool where it is. We're our first of the clear pieces that we're putting on this thing. Okay, so yeah, it's very dumb. Interviews with Monster Girls. I'm watching that as part of my anime rewatch. So, obviously, when the first 12 episodes happened, I had nothing bad to say about the show. I still think it's a great show because it is a very cool slice of life show that happens to be about monster creatures. And I think that's really fun. And I think they explore their abilities and their kind of whatever their monster stuff really well, and it's fun. And I do think that the OVA, which is considered episode 13, but it should just be called an OVA because it's got a creepy element to it. If you were going to ever watch Interviews with Monster Girls, I would say don't watch the after credit part of episode 13 because I think it's shitty. I think it's a shitty part of that show and a bummer. That being said, in my rewatch, I noticed something that I kind of overlooked while I was watching it. And that is, nobody tells their friend or their student, hey, it's inappropriate for you to have such a big crush on your teacher. Because there's Takahashi Sensei is the teacher who is kind of like, he doesn't teach, he's in the same school with all these monster girls, but he's trying to help them like get adjusted and whatever, and it's kind of like a kind of like a mentor figure. And the Dullahan, Maki, ends up having a crush on him. And they justify it in a way that, like, he's really strong, like he's got good arm muscles, and as a headless horsewoman who has to carry her head around all the time, that's something that appeals to her, and he's also, like, nice and all that. But it's obviously very inappropriate because she is a, like, freshman in high school, and he's her teacher. So it's very inappropriate. And then you can kind of, like, justify, if you really want to, by saying, like, okay, well, who knows this, right? Well, Akari, our vampire girl, knows this. And she is maybe jealous about it, or is just kind of weird about it, but she doesn't really do anything about it. But the other person who knows that Maki is really into her adult teacher is another teacher, the succubus, who also likes Takagi Sensei. So instead of being, like, concerned for a student, she's just, like, straight up jealous of her. Because she also has feelings, but because she's a succubus and has tried to quell those things, has never, like, been on a date and doesn't, like, have any. She kind of, like, forces herself to be reserved in that regard, which is a cool concept. A succubus that, like, has never dated and is, like, trying to, like, keep those whatever impulses in check. It's kind of an interesting idea in the show. But I guess I didn't pick up on it while I was watching, like, how fucking bad and problematic that is. Like, obviously, real life will tell us that people have crushes on authority figures. Men, women, non-binary types, folks that are aromantic get those kind of feelings. Like, it's natural and fine. But there should be someone just going, hey, what about people your age? What if you were into people your age? Or if you are totally cool with the age discrepancy, maybe, like, when you don't go to this school. How about that? So it is weird. It's weird. It's weird. And I didn't, because the show is not gross in ways that other shows are gross. You know, part of the contract of being a fan of anime is accepting that sometimes things are not great because you didn't write it and you have no control over that. So I think I overlooked that part of the show because I was so psyched about, like, the cool, interesting discussions and, like, the part where they're like, these are the wrong color. Put the wrong color on here. The part where they're, like, talking about how where the myth of the headless horse person not wanting to cross water comes from, where it probably comes from the fact that, like, if your horse got spooked and your head fell into the water, it would go downstream and you would be fucked. Not because, like, magic barriers or whatever, but just, like, the practical reasons that a Dullahan might not like crossing streams. That stuff I think is awesome. And I kind of, I guess, convinced myself to overlook the parts that are not as cool. The parts that are, like, creepy. I still think the show is good. I just wasn't as aware of that part. And now I'm more aware of it. All right, we're going to stop right here, and it's time for, we'll do it first. We're going to do our subscriber giveaway. And then I will do the stuff where I talk about to you about things that I would like you to do if you haven't already, in order to, and as ways to support the stream. First and foremost, this is your last chance. If you are not currently a subscriber, if you haven't used your coin, which you have to manually do, if you let it lapse and you'd be interested, if you've been on the fence about it, now's the perfect time to become a subscriber, because I'm about to give away 2 Lego sets that we built on stream. The Darth Vader transformation, which is the first time we did a Lego set that wasn't a vehicle, and the Yoda Starfighter, which is just like a cool modified Starfighter for Yoda. And you get a Yoda minifig, and it's pretty cool looking. Those are two kits that I built on stream, and I'm giving those away. So what I'm going to do is I am now going to a random number generator. I'm getting that ready. Last chance for a subscriber before I go in and download my subscribers, which I'm doing now. I need to, this will take a second. It's going to take a second for me to get the list of my subscribers. Okay, there we go. They used to email it to you, and now you can just download it, which is cool. You can just get it right from the page, so you don't have to go into your email. And, okay. And no drum roll. I could do that. Your winner of this kit is Robot Crank. Robot Crank wins. I'm gonna put Robot Crank's name in the. I don't think Robot Crank is here tonight, but is a subscriber, a fairly new subscriber. Robot Crank won those kits. Drum roll. Thank you for the drum roll, Harold. I appreciate it. So yeah, Robot Crank is our winner. I will reach out to Robot Crank and get their address. If for whatever reason, some people have good reasons, they are Robot Crank is like, nah, I will just do a drawing again off stream, and I will contact people there. But yeah, I'm just gonna send them a message through Twitch once we're done here, just being like, hey, you won. Here's your. Where can I send these Lego sets? Let me send you some Lego, and then I'll send them out on like Tuesday. The next thing that people are going to win November giveaway is the Gundam Epion, which is a beautiful kit that transforms. It's the Master Grade. The Epion is it's the non-Gundam that, like, when the Tall Geese 3 is just not up to snuff, they build the Epion, and it shares the same piloting system as the Wing Zero, and transforms into a two-headed dragon, but it doesn't really look like a two-headed dragon. It's just a cool-looking kit. The Epion rules. Yes. Yeah, I decided to do both kits. So some of the things we built on stream are small. So I'm going to give them away in multiples. Like, down the line, I'll be giving away a Krillin figure. But that Krillin figure is like, obviously, it's Krillin. It's pretty small, not the detail. So I'll also send the Goku. That way I can do it in pairs. I think I did that with... I don't remember. But yeah, I did send out yeah, I think I've paired up things before. Because I think that's better than just sending one thing. Oh, I sent both X-Wings out to ISK. Won both X-Wings back when I did that, which was cool. So yeah, Robot Crank wins both kits. Yeah. All right. We'll get back to building in just a moment. I do want to take this opportunity to thanks everybody for watching. We're going to get back to building in just a moment. You can see where we're at in the building process. But Zorbs, I did send you Pokemon. I sent you a bunch of Pokemon. That's right. That's right. Very, very true. Okay. So, if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. But at the very least, make sure that you have your notifications turned on so you get notified when I go live. Have a lot of followers who, have given me a follow but don't, tune in all the time. So you get your notifications so like my bonus stream that's happening on Monday, you'll be aware. Also, I have a Patreon. I just posted today a Q&A video. I do a monthly Q&A, so even everyone who gives $1 or $5 or $10, the dollar bonus is the Q&A. And sometimes I make announcements on there. But yeah, I did a Q&A that's just for subscriber or for Patreon backers. $5 gets videos early. $10 gets the videos early and gets to vote on what I built. They voted on this Lightning as the thing I built next. They don't want me to build the heavy arm, or not the heavy arms, the Sandrock. Eventually, we'll build that Sandrock because I want to build every Gundam from Gundam Wing. But Patreon is a good way to support the stream. If you don't feel like becoming a Twitch subscriber, you can support me on Patreon. Also, if you're like, I don't want to do Patreon, I don't want to do Twitch, but I sure have ideas of things you should build on stream. Well, you can put your money where your mouth is, or your fingers are, and buy me a kit. I've got an Amazon wish list. I just updated it. I'm quickly going to go over there and highlight a couple things I think are great for my Amazon wish list. First and foremost, I have this Nexo Knights Tech Wizard thing, which someone a month ago was like, you should build some of the Tech Wizard, the Knights thing. And I was like, okay. There's a Ninjago vehicle. There's the dragon that looks pretty cool. I'd like to build that red dragon and complete all the dragons. There's some play sets that seem neat for that. There's the 1/100 Ironblood Orphans kit there that looks pretty neat. I wouldn't mind building that. I wouldn't mind doing another Dragon Ball figure. Right now, the Vegeta in a pod kit dropped 15%. Right now, it's $45. It was up to $53 on Amazon. I have a watch on that. If it drops to about 40, I might just get it myself. But yeah, it was $52 when I added it, so it's gone down in price a little bit. And there's a few other kits in here that would be cool to build that I have on my wish list. And those always jump the line. So if I'm building this and someone buys me something off Amazon and mails it to me, I will get that. As far as I know, there is not a model kit for Yamcha in the Dragon Ball series. I will say this: if they ever make one, I will build Yamcha, and then I will, on my own, build a dirt pile ground for a Yamcha hole for Yamcha. I will definitely do that. That would be a modification that I made. I would build a Yamcha hole, make it out of construction paper, add some real sand. I don't know. I also have my coffee, my Ko-Fi. As a tip jar, you could tip me. Bits are also welcome. Cheers or bits here would be good. That would be awesome. And then also I have the Build with Bear community. The Build with Bear community is a Discord. You could join that. Please join our Discord. I always post photos. People post build photos there. You can also tweet me build photos. If you are working on a kit, you're working on anything, you can always tweet me. I always retweet when people are working on stuff because I love seeing that. I should say, I'm not going to put this on the screen, but there was a Yamcha. Oh, Harold just cheered. Thank you very much for that. Harold, I do appreciate it very much. There was a figure of dead Yamcha, or tired Yamcha. They have made those in the past. Oh wow, it's $60. There's been a full figure of it, which I'll put a link to here in the chat. Harold, once again, thank you for that. So that's the Amazon page for the dead Yamcha figure. But there was a Funko Pop that was at San Diego Comic-Con that I did not buy. It is a sleeping Yamcha, but let's fucking be real, it's a dead Yamcha. And I think that also might be at Hot Topic. It was like a summer exclusive, but I think it might have been. I'll put a link to that. That figure is beautiful. I don't like Funko Pops, but I heavily considered getting that Funko Pop because it's pretty funny. He does look like he's sleeping, but we all know he's dead. But yeah, so now we're done with that. We can get back to building. We got another, 50-ish minutes left on the stream to work on this kit here. But I did want to, take a moment to thank you all for your support Folks have been very generous with their hard-earned money, either by being subscribers or here on Twitch, using their Twitch coin with me, which is awesome, or Patreon supporters. We're at $120 on my Patreon. I would love to get to the $150 mark. At $150 a month, I could justify having an hour more a week of streaming, because that's more frequently that I have to buy model kits. So I would love to reach the $150, and I would stream once a week on Monday afternoons. I would do a Monday afternoon hour-long stream and build. It'd be an afternoon stream, which would be kind of fun to do. And it's something I'd like to do that, I haven't been able to. But in order to do that, I would have to hit $150 a month. So that is the current next goal. We're at 120, which is amazing and incredible, and people fucking are awesome for that. I'm also looking for more benefits for folks to consider being on Patreon. I'm going to send out a questionnaire at some point, probably. I get kind of low numbers as far as the 30-something people that follow. Not a lot of people watch the Q&A videos or send in questions for it. So I am considering whether or not I need to rethink that and maybe do something else for my $1 supporters, a monthly thing I could do. All right, so we got another of these screen-printed Legos here for this dashboard for our jet, which is pretty cool. And let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I'm doing my rewatch. My Let Pat Play, which is the series I do on YouTube, where I play games, mostly free. I had something lined up, ready to go, and then I was in the chat for Giant Bomb for the premium stream of the East Coast premium stream, where they played Guitar Man fully through, and either his name was Maddie or Matei. I think it's Maddie. Maddie asked me if I would for Let Pat Play if I was going to check out any more Giant ROM games, and he was like, "I'd love you to look at mine," which I hadn't looked at. So I looked at it. So that's the video that comes out on Monday is another video of me looking at a Giant ROM game, and I was happy to do it because I was specifically asked, and it's the first time someone has asked me to take a look at the thing they made. So I was happy to do it, and it was interesting. I'll say that. For folks that are not Patreon supporters, that are on the $5 level, you have to wait till Monday. But if you're a Patreon supporter at the $5, $10 level, you'll watch that. You could watch that tomorrow afternoon, whenever I post it. All right, we got more decals to work on, so let's get some decals on. These are the same on both. I'm gonna make sure I line them up right. So it goes on this thing like this. Once again, if I'm not perfect, I'm not perfect. I'm not worried about it too much. I'm going to do my best, but also I'm not taking a long time on decals. We did all of our stickers on our high-grade heavy arms, folks that were watching the last couple streams. It was important to me to do that because the high grades really need the stickers. And there's going to be stickers in our when eventually we do that Wing Zero. And so, that's important to me. Oops, I did forget two things. No, this is top heavy because we're missing a base here. The photos, that's going to have it lined up, but obviously that's not accurate. All right, so I need a 4, 2 flat ones here. And that goes like this, like that. Yeah, if there's anything tonight you've got on your mind, Saturday's usually a little light because I haven't been watching a lot of stuff since Thursday. There's especially because we didn't stream last Saturday, we streamed last Friday, so I had a lot of time in between streams. So if there's something on your mind you want to talk about tonight, let me know. I'm always down to chat about whatevs in general, within reason. I have not watched any of the TwitchCon mini what do you call it? Games done quick. I'm waiting for the highlights. Whoops. I'm waiting for folks to tell me what is the best ones, and I will check them out. The closest I've gotten to is I've been following Alexandra, friend of the stream, in her like random quotes from things. I know that in one of the Zelda runs, the character name that won the contest is a character name that is a reference to a 4chan meme. So that is fucking great. That's awesome. That was particularly awesome to hear. I don't know the name. Don't know what it is necessarily in reference to. It has been years since I have been a 4chan goer. So I don't know exactly what it is that was so that what that character name was, but that's a fucking bummer. Certainly. Yellow here, just a little bit of yellow here and there. I don't know what quite this thing's probably going to go on top of some controllers, I assume. Not sure where this goes. But yeah, I haven't been looking at Games Done Quick stuff for TwitchCon. There's a few TwitchCon features that are coming out. I'm going to bounce a bit early, have a good rest of the stream. Thank you, Road. Road, you have a great rest of your bouncing and enjoy the rest of your evening. I signed up for the beta for Twitch Sings, and I don't know how it works, and I don't know what it's going to be, but I did sign up for the beta for that. And I know that Harmonix is working with Twitch on that, and I don't know what that's going to entail, but it's a free beta, and so I signed up for it. So we'll see what that is and what that means for the stream. The group stream thing is interesting to me. I'm interested in what that could be. If that is like having multiple streamers be able to control chat and share a dashboard, that's very interesting. That might solve issues with and all be on the same thing. Yes, Harold. Yeah, you should have. Yeah. That's a good call. That seems interesting. Maybe I could finally get some people to do some building, off screen, or solves the problem of there's that Jackbox game that looks really fun but won't work great on stream, in my opinion, is the one where you make presentations. Basically the commercial pitch one. Doesn't seem, in my mind, to work well as a streaming game unless you're all in the same room together. Because you can do the thing where it just reveals the photos, but that's not as fun as talking. So that might make that one more fun. I don't know. Yeah, so there are a few things that came out of that were interesting. I look forward to making some of you VIPs. Certainly, a few of you deserve the VIP designation, and the idea that I can do that sounds fucking cool. So I'm going to do that. I'm excited about that idea. About declaring a few of you VIPs. Alright, so now we're in bag 3. We might end up doing some knolling, although it doesn't quite make sense to knoll. It doesn't really make as much sense to knoll because I'll have to undo it, but we'll see. But yeah, we're now in the bag 3 of 7 here, so we'll keep moving on that. It's also good every once in a while to finish up the bag so that you can see what pieces are just extras. Because there are a few pieces here that, like this, I can probably tell you is just an extra piece. But I don't know for sure until I'm done with that. That is the downside of doing the multi bag knolling, is you don't know what the extra ones are until you finish up with the bags. And then there's also I know there's a lot of moderation stuff. That's the thing I didn't really look into too much because I don't have any mods here. I do all the modding myself and Nightbot. Don't spam caps. Um, that is the one thing that Nightbot has come into. But yeah, I have Nightbot, and then I don't have any mods, and I think I've banned 4 people from the stream in the year and a half that we've been doing this. So almost year and a half. So like, it doesn't affect me as much as it does other people, but I'm excited for other people to have more options. I know that like Kate Stark's mods are excited about some of the tools that they're getting. Though, as I said, it doesn't affect me as much. I'm still happy for everybody on that. Alright, so this goes like this. This goes like this. Oops, wrong. This goes over here. And then this goes like that. Alright, we're about to add our bubble. Our cockpit bubble. It's going to pop in like that. Cool. I think that looks awesome. Pop it up. It clacks on. It's not. There's some resistance to it opening, which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So that's on. Those are on. All right. Now we're gonna put this aside for a second. We'll just put it over there as we build some other thing. Our clear piece. There. It is not, Lastbrook, unfortunately, is not Pop-O-Matic. Nope. It is unfortunately, the Pop-O-Matic technology is unfortunately lost on Ninjago. The Ninjago series, apparently. Apparently. They're too good for it. Alright, then we gotta put some yellow in here. Once again, I don't know exactly what this does. We'll find out what I'm building. I enjoy that, where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. We're just building something. I don't know what it is yet. Put on the red one, a little bit of red. Just a little bit of red here and there. I enjoy that. And the gold piece here. This is most likely some sort of thing that's going to go on the back here and help with movement of some sort of parts of the kit. Alright, so we've got to slide this on. Now we're going to put the red one on over it. And then that'll go on. Yeah, it goes back in there. Okay. So one of the things we want to do is we want to make sure these black pieces aren't popping out. So I'm going to do it onto the table here like that. And that'll keep everything together. And then I'll do the same thing with the red. And then I'll do the same thing with these. Because that way, if I'm putting pressure on these black pieces here, I'm not pushing them through by using the table as a pressure point there. And then the tragically forgotten Pop-O-Matic tech. Now it only exists in trouble. Yep. Speaking of things that prove I'm old, I found out yesterday was the 18th anniversary of the launch of the PS2. Yeah. That reminds me I need to fix the network settings on my OP Loader PS2. Yep. Yeah, the PS2 is old now. We're all old. I mean, not all of us. Some of us are fucking young and whatever. I guess. There was a point, because, I am a listener. I'm a fan and a listener of the Giant Bomb and Giant Beastcast. Listen to Giant Beastcast, where Dan was saying some dumb Dan thing that just washes over me at this point, and it's fine. I'm not here to insult Dan. But he said something of like, to justify what he did, he was like, "Oh, I'm older now. I was only 26 then." And then Abby said, "I'm not 26 now." And that hurt me a little bit. Just a little bit. Just thinking about that, how young Abby Russell is. I mean, she could be 25 for all I know. I don't know exactly how old she is. I've never asked. It's not my business, but Fuck, that did make me feel very old. Here's the thing about Dan. He just was at one parental neglect. Part of that was because he's a child of divorce and he had parents that worked full time, and so he bounced around. He is harmless, but so part of it was that he just was kind of stunted in his development due to that. I think that's me making a judgment, perhaps judging too harshly. And then the other thing is that, like, fucking, he just needed to move. Like, moving to San Francisco is the best thing that ever happened to Dan. Obviously, he eventually met Bianca, his wife, his now wife, and so that's good, and his career placement. But if he had stayed at Game Informer, which he could have stayed at Game Informer for years and slowly worked his way up at Game Informer as other people, like, left, I don't think he would have had any excuse to, like, not go to bars every night and not be the childish version of himself and not realize that he was just being his dad. Who now he has that self-awareness. So that's his words, not mine. But, like, obviously, like, the fact that Dan hadn't even considered the idea of what dishwashing was doesn't surprise me, because, like, using a dishwasher but hand washing dishes, he just didn't have to, because people also, this is the thing of, and I had this as well, when people don't expect a lot of you, they don't ask you to do things because it's easier just to do it than it is to show you how to do it. And I've had that in certain aspects of my life, not to the extent that Dan has. Meanwhile, we put this giant wheel on here. Look at this big old wheel. This big old wheel turns some other thing. But yeah, we got a big old wheel here now, which eventually there'll be another way for that to turn. It turns some other things, but yeah, we have a big old wheel now. Get used to it. But yeah, when it comes to Dan, a lot of it just comes from his environment, and no one was, but people just accepted him for who he was and didn't ask of anything of him. Which in some ways is nice, but in other ways, you need a little kick in the pants. And even if that is friends, just sometimes it's literally just someone going, wait, what? And him being like, wait, is, like, the number one question that Dan asks in his life has been, wait, is that weird? Wait, what's wrong with that? And then people being like, no, what? No, 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 no. And I'm being like, oh, well, I just assumed. Yeah, and there's no malice in it. There's never malice in it. And occasionally also a little bit of it is. Everyone is doing this, including myself. I'm not immune to it. Everyone is giving a version of themselves when it comes to performing, right? There's no performance background for Dan, but it is an exaggeration. Like, obviously he loves Metal Gear. That's not an exaggeration. But the villainous role he plays in games like Mario Party is playing it up for the audience. He's not a performer, but he is a pro wrestling heel. He is a wrestling manager now. He's living that dream. He's a fucking wrestling manager. That's part of the life he lives now, that he gets to live. He's living that weird nonsense dream of his. So he's a performer in those aspects. So he is playing things up. He's not in many ways as dumb as the version of the internet Dan. But then in a lot of ways, that's just Dan. Some of it's not playing it up. I think the thing that he hasn't realized yet is not everyone had the life experience of. No, Lastbrook, I agree with you in a certain respect. I think that he knows that other people have had life different from him. But when people have some similarities to him, like suburban upbringings, he is often surprised about that. But I think he's understands that, like, he and Danny had a different different life growing up. Like he understands that like Ireland is different from, you know, there was different in that way. Like I think he can realize that. I'm trying to figure out how to put this on here. This seems a little weird. Oh, okay, that makes sense now. This piece was a little odd. I'm working on this thing that goes on the top here, kind of lightning thing. I guess is the uh, propulsion system for it. Um, but yeah, most of it is that like some of it is playing it up for the camera, like those rare instances. One of my favorite things about all of Giant Bomb is on the Beastcast where Jeff gets loud and angry. He's not that angry. He's not that loud, and it's comical because he's not doing it. He's not like the YouTube people that just yell and are super excited about things. It's just for effect. The Jeff gets mad thing is very fun. Uh, that's playing it up for the cameras. Now the actual cameras or the podcast or whatever. You know, it is in some ways, sparkly lights and sounds and just performance. Part of it. Always going to be part of it. I mean, like, I'm pretty fucking genuine on here. I try to be. I think that's how I kind of present myself. But, my League of Heels stuff, obviously I'm playing a character. I'm playing a role in that. And I play it up for it as well. Yes, Vinny is also, he's not to the extent of playing devil's advocate, but oftentimes Vinny is playing up certain aspects on that. And he is playing a bit of the Garnet Lee role of like asking questions he knows the answers to from One Up Yours days. I believe the One Up podcast, flagship podcast, actually influenced a lot of how podcasts are done because in many ways Garnet and Shane were just fucking playing roles. Oh yeah, Vinny is no Garnet Lee. But the thing is that like Garnet was fucking playing a role, and Shane Bettenhausen was playing a fucking character. I still believe most of Luke Smith was real. He was leaning into not liking certain things to play them up, but I do think a lot of that is fucking Luke Smith. My interactions with him and people that know him lead me to believe he was being pretty genuine, but Shane was definitely fucking playing a role. They all were playing archetypes, and then later different things. Would play up. Same thing with the Brodeo, the GFW radio. They were certainly playing things up, even though some of them were playing it a little closer to the chest than others. That's all part of it. Hello, J Job. Welcome. I try to remind myself we're frequently seeing exaggerated versions of these folks, and I can always not watch videos if someone sticks worse things. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it stick. Like some of it is very much big parts of your personality because some people aren't great at that, and so they're just being genuine and real because they're not like I mean, Abby the video game personality is a lot like Abby the improviser because of course that's where her performance comes in. What she finds funny in one, she finds funny in the other. Abby also has a dual layer of being judged differently from other folks, particularly for being young, but also for being a woman in this industry. She is judged in certain ways and can't be certain ways that she probably would like to be, which is a fucking bummer and sucks. She's got to be a little more guarded about, certain things and has to be way more informed. Like, Dan can say, I don't know anything about that series, and a popular series that people care about, and he'll get a few messages here and there. If Abby doesn't know a thing from fucking 15 years ago when she was a preteen, people jump on her like she's an asshole. And it sucks. Well, also, Sin, you have to realize, Sin says, I thought it was unlocked, but when Luke talks about Destiny, I know he's just being himself. You have to take this into consideration that Luke Smith is conning you when he talks about Destiny. The thing you have to understand is Luke is fucking lying to you. Uh, Hello, washable markers. We got on to talking about people and their personas on podcasts now and YouTube and how everyone's just like somewhat of an exaggeration. Uh, um, so the thing is about Luke is that one, I think he believes the hype, and two, Luke Smith is not to be. He's a PR person. He's a PR person. He was a PR person when he was a games press person, when he talked about things he cared about and the stories he wanted to tell. He wasn't a paid person. I'm not saying that he was bought or sold. I'm definitely not saying that because I don't believe that fucking bullshit. But I will say that, like, Luke Smith's a con artist in that he is conning you in the things that he cares about and the message he wants to get across. 100%. You should not, you should not take any game designer who is being a PR person or being a spokesman for their game at 100% face value because they're not telling you the truth. They need to sell games. There's nothing malicious about it. He's not trying to be an asshole about it. Well, he might be. But, like, yeah, Luke Smith is conning you because he wants you to buy Destiny expansions. And he wants to downplay how you being mad is wrong. Yeah. Yeah, no game designers. So some game designers can be honest about the development of their game, and they can be honest about, like, some of the feelings they have about their game, and they can say, hey, here's the thing about this, and we learned this from this. And I think, like, Dave Lang, if you watch Dave Lang's, he did a quick, like, a post-mortem for GDC. I believe you can find it on YouTube. When he talked about, like, stuff, he's still being Dave, and he's still selling you a thing because he's still the head of a company. But Dave is also in that very honest about the mistakes that he made, and it's, like, refreshing because that's why I like postmortems from indie devs. I don't care. The only good postmortems for big development for big games are 30 or 40 year, 20-year-old games because there's no, like, you can't get a good postmortem about a game that came out 3 years ago because everybody's got to still fucking work and they can't talk about shit because they still need to, earn a living. That's my opinion on it. To, like, eventually you'll find that stuff, but it's hard. Also, people who are so close to the topic don't have the perspective to commentate it unreasonably most of the time. That's totally true. I mean, you're totally right about that. Okay, so these are all leftover pieces. These are all extra pieces that we didn't need in the first 3 bags. So we'll put that in our savings bag along with our minifigs. And then we're gonna open bag 4, and we're not gonna null bag 4 because I don't want to keep them out till Thursday. But we will just start building out of bag 4, and I'll just start digging in just so we can keep building because we've got 20 or so minutes left, a little more on stream, and I want to keep building. I don't want to end early just because I finished 3 bags. We'll get into bag 4, and we'll just build out of that bag. So I'm gonna get into the box. Here's bag 4. I'm going to open it away from the mic. Yeah, but when talking, getting back to the YouTube, the Giant Bomb personalities, all that stuff. In a lot of ways, obviously, it is an exaggeration, and people are playing a role. So we'll just open this bag a little bit, but we'll know that we're going to pull anything we don't build out of bag 4 is just going to go back into bag 4, which I set aside. All right, so we're going to start working on... Whoops, that came right out. I'm going to have to be careful of that. Well, I can't lift from this. I don't know why I thought I could, but when moving this kit right now, I cannot lift from this. In fact, I'll do... Alright. Take this off. We're going to put this back on right. On the other hand, following a game's community can expose you to the most toxic parts of the community, of course. We forget the usual tons more casual or least more casual, frequent subreddit posters. Oh, yes. The people that make comments the most are often, like, they are the vocal minority. That is totally true. There are a lot of people that make no considerations of those things, for better or worse. In a lot of cases worse. But also the fans that, like I always said, like, when you're out and you're talking to people, like if you're demoing at PAX or any other event, like that feedback is the most real, honest feedback you're going to get anywhere. There was a game, I don't want to get into specifics on it, and I remember playing it at a PAX. It was a so the Indie Mega booth has the mini booth, which is the smaller. It is like sometimes it's people is just like one kiosk, and it's rotational often, and sometimes people are just there for a day and they like trade around badges. So I was playing a game in the mini, and it was something that was about to go out to PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and I was very bad at it. And I was with the dev, and the dev was clearly mad about how bad I was at this game. Like, it was a platformer, and I was just not getting the platforming. And this is an indie dev, and so, of course, doesn't have a lot of testing, doesn't have a lot of this. And so when I finished it, I asked the dev, I was like, it's the only person demoing it, and I was like, do you have it, how big is your team? Like kind of like, oh, just asking a couple questions. He goes, well, it's me and my sound person and another person working on art. And I was like, okay. And then he brought it up, and I didn't. He did, so I didn't feel bad about it. But this is the wrong size. This is the wrong size one. I gotta take this off. One of these is bigger than the other. I didn't realize. I'm fucking this up while I'm telling the story. A thing that this dev didn't like consider was he's the only person that's played it before he got to PAX Unplugged. Like, I'm sure a few people played it in the lead up to the demos of it, but like, I think, because I was playing this on a Friday of a 3-day PAX West, I was one of the first people to ever play it that wasn't good at it. And I was like, yeah, just so you know, I'm not the best at platformers, but this game is very hard. And I think like a lot of times people don't like live in their bubble. And I think that he probably brushed me off, but I hope that that was the feedback he got consistently. Or maybe other people were good at it and I was just bad at it, and I'm the worst person to ever play that game, the worst person at it. Maybe that's true, but I don't know. I fucking tried my goddamn best on that game, and it did not have a good time with it. So I don't know. I think that people can live in their bubble, which is why it's great to get out in front of people, to take advantage of those. Not everyone can go to PAX, but there's, major big cities have festivals and events, and the gaming curriculum at NYU and NYU Game Dev, I know, does a lot of events where people can come and see games and they can get feedback, and they're doing like, come play this game on a laptop at this bar and go get a drink, and you get a drink discount or whatever, or there's no discount and it's just doing it for goodwill. And they do a lot of those events to just kind of get like feedback that they obviously otherwise wouldn't get. Because it's only other game. Because if only game devs play your game, it's not the same thing as like just a casual person. Like, I consider myself like I'm pretty hardcore about games, but I'm not a hardcore gamer by any means. So like, because there are a lot of games I'm not good at, and I don't pretend to be. Um, so I try to be honest about that stuff. But going back to, I don't know if we need to go back to what we were talking about earlier. Okay, make sure that lines up. I did want to point out here. I don't know if I talked about this here. So the bottom of the book here gives you a scale for the piece you're using and how big it is, which is actually sometimes incredibly helpful. If there are a bunch of different sizes, like I don't think I would mistake these two sizes, but I might mistake one that's a little bigger than this, and then suddenly you did the wrong one. There's no extras, and then you're stuck. But anyway, that's all there is for that. More than anything, I think someone just talked about that. Oh, talked about that with professional wrestlers, and how professional wrestlers, in a lot of aspects of their working life, have to be on all the time. And the thing that Amy, professional wrestler, retired professional wrestler, although she's coming out of retirement tomorrow, Lita, um, said was the number one thing she wishes that fans understood was that Lita is a character and she's Amy. And then she plays Lita. So it's like that's a thing that she wishes that people understood. And I think I kind of wish that people understood that about like YouTube personalities or Twitch streamers. I think the onus on people sometimes is very negative and false to have to be like live up to the expectations people have of what you are on a stream. Uh, this is a Ninjago kit, washable markers. We're doing the Ninjago Lightning Jet, as you can see in the photos on the left and right. Yeah, this is the Ninjago Jet, and then we built a little crab guy. We're on bag 4. We started today. We did some knolling on Thursday after we finished the heavy arms. Oh yeah, I mean the Hollow. Talking about accessibility. I mean we still by default don't have colorblindness modes for folks because unless someone on your team is colorblind, it doesn't occur to you, and that's just an eye disability. I'm not saying just. I shouldn't say just. I apologize for saying just. That's just that. But that's in compared to other disabilities that exist, that like it's really frustrating that we're still not at a point where folks can feel like they're uh, being represented properly in that way. Um, is very frustrating. I want to have it, I think that any game should have a colorblind mode and a mode that uses fewer buttons and modes that take account, like folks, that have, or even like people. There are a lot of people that like it's minor, but it makes my enjoyment of games harder. There are a lot of folks that work in Unity that are working on stuff on itch that don't have a way for me to invert controls. And like I'm a guy that grew up playing things inverted, and I can get around it sometimes, but there are sometimes where I can't get around it, and so I just don't play a game. And it's not as big a deal, obviously, as other folks are dealing with, and it's like okay, but like it sucks that there are games that just I don't get to play because they're very hard for me to if I can't map controls or invert the mouse. Uh, that sucks. And like I said, there are folks that have it way worse than me as far as that goes, and I fucking feel bad about it. It sucks, and I hope that we can eventually do something about it. make it easier for folks to be able to play games. Alright, so this goes on here. I'm not sure what this whole thing is, but we're building it. Oh, we got a big old gear now. Alright, we're building a big old gear. Put some pegs in a gear. I will give Microsoft credit for the accessibility controller they put in. That one thing is both incredible and we'll throw it out. Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance to get my hands on one, but I've heard incredibly good things, and people that whose opinions I trust on the topic seem to be happy with it right now, which is a great sign. Yeah, I'd be interested in checking it out. But yeah, I mean that is the obviously, as we said, that is the one of the problems of living in a bubble is you just don't think about things because you're in your own little world. Which is also like for devs, like not just having public play, but having other devs check out their games and is important for them, and getting feedback, being able to get feedback and take feedback. Taking feedback is huge and sometimes very hard. Criticism can often feel like attacks if you're not used to it, and sometimes criticism is attacks. Sometimes criticism is veiled attacks by just saying, "Oh, I was just saying. Oh, I didn't mean any harm by it." No, you did. You were trying to insult people. But sometimes it is folks are just saying a thing because they're like, "Hey, have you thought about this? Has this ever occurred to you?" You know, I have heard from folks that it never occurred to them to have a colorblind mode until they watched the quick look, because oddly enough, Giant Bomb has two folks that have color blindness, one on each coast, which is very unique for an outlet to have that, and sets them apart in that one regard, as being able to like talk about that, whereas you're not going to hear about that at other. Probably not going to hear that at other outlets because if they don't have anyone who's colorblind on staff. All right, so we got some gears working here. Not sure what this does yet. It looks cool so far, though. So happy about that. Then we got another gear. Gonna put on this gear. It's above it. And we'll build another thing here. We might even get through bag 4 in the rest of the stream. We'll see. Also, there's definitely pushback from people who see those needs as making them inferior. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you, the Hollow. I agree with that. Part of the good, one of the good parts of the internet is that it gives a voice to folks that didn't always have one. And part of that is people being able to shout out, "Hey, this doesn't work for me. I want to enjoy things that other people get to enjoy. I would be a customer if I am a customer, and I think like that's not unreasonable." And I'm happy that folks are starting to more and more be able to say that stuff. I feel comfortable saying it, and then also have folks hear them. I think that's incredibly important. I hope more of that happens. I want folks to be heard. I hope it's constructive, and I hope it's pleasant, and like I don't know what to do about people that are tweeting at Swery because his game isn't available on their store in their country. Like, I don't know what Swery's supposed to do if the publisher he's using isn't great, or Microsoft doesn't puts it out under the missing instead of missing. So if you or whatever, like, I don't know fucking what Swery's supposed to fucking do. I don't know why people want to fucking tweet him, fucking that kind of stuff. Like, that's, I'm always like, no, that's not. Tell him if his game is broken, but don't fucking like Tweet Microsoft if you have a Microsoft problem. Like that shit, that's not constructive. I think folks have finally stopped threatening Rami that they're gonna talk to his business partner about what he's about the you know, and that weird shit that he gets. He probably still gets a lot of that, but maybe he's getting a little less of that. People that don't understand that Rami works for a business of two people, so threatening to talk to Rami's employer doesn't make any fucking sense because that's Rami. All right, so this goes like this. Not really sure what it does yet. I mean, it's going to attach to this thing and at some point. Going to put two more of these pegs in. My only complaint about Rami is that I tried to send a nice message to his complaint email and it was fake. Oh, his email address was fake. You know, it also could have just been the mailbox was full. Might have also been the case, but I will take your word that he just has a fake complaint box. Yeah. I mean, yeah, at some point it could have been. All right, so this rubber piece, we got a rubber piece here, goes in this. It's supposed to go in here. I have to bend this and stick it in this piece. There we go. Okay, that did that. Now, what this does, I don't know. I don't know what these things do. I don't know what these rollers do. I do know it's weird that it only rolls so much because of this rubber piece. Like I said, this whole section is kind of a mystery to me. I expect to learn a little bit more about it. And then we got this piece here. Looks kind of like an engine. That's what I like about this stuff. Like, as I said, I don't know anything about Ninjago. So, I don't know what any of this does. It's not like when we were building something from Star Wars. I'm like, hell yeah, and it does this, and it goes there, and this does this. This is the thing where I'm like, I don't know. It does stuff. Figure it out. Pat, I gotta get some sleep. Have a good night. Washable Markers, you have a great night. I'm almost done here with the stream. We're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes, but thank you for hanging out. Thanks for all the folks that have watched the stream tonight. We'll probably call it in a moment or two. I'm gonna put these pieces on here, and we'll probably end up calling it. But I want to thank you for watching the stream. A reminder for folks that your Twitch coin, you have to do it yourself. It doesn't auto renew. So if you want to continue to be a subscriber, you have to manually hit renew. Mine's coming up for Kate. I use mine for Kate Stark. Mine's coming up on Halloween, so I got to make sure to do that. So this piece slides in here, and then when these are in this, you press them together to lock it in place, which is cool. So we will do the rest of bag 4. We will do bags 5 and 6 and 7 on Thursday. A reminder that on Monday, this coming Monday, from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be building. And by building, I mean carving. And by carving, I mean carving pumpkins. That's right. Our bonus stream, the once-a-month bonus stream where I normally just play games with chat, we'll probably end up playing Quiplash at the end of it. I'm going to carve 2 pumpkins. I'm going to do one the way I want to do it because I'm bringing it to work. So I'm going to carve a dumb pumpkin the way I like to carve pumpkins. And the second pumpkin will be what the chat wants. So if you're like cat eyes, I'll put cat eyes on it. If you're like bigger mouth, tinier mouth, no nose, mostly nose, I will do that. If you're like I want vampire fangs, I'll do that. So I'm going to be asking questions and people will be able to respond in the chat, and I will help, and you will help me build and carve the pumpkin the way you want it carved. So that's my promise to you. That's on Monday, 3:30 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/PatBear. If you're watching this on YouTube, check my links in the show description. That's it, everybody. I want to thank you for joining me. We're going almost right up to 11, but that's where we're at tonight. We'll find out where this goes on Thursday. It does some stuff probably around here. I don't know. There's a whole other back section. There's like 2 wing sections we haven't built yet for this too. This might be the gun. So I think it does this. I think we're eventually doing this. That's what I think. I think we're going to do that. I don't know. But have a great night. And for those that were just watching and didn't chat, thanks for saying hi. Thank you, everybody. And I'll talk to you soon. Get my mouse moving. And bye-bye.